Dumelang Abshen Sanbonan Molweni and welcome to episode 8. I know, take that in. Episode 8 of our limited series titled Reinvent Yourself. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about a topic I am greatly passionate about. And it's a topic that relates to all of us because at some point in life, we all find ourselves in a position where we have to articulate our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings even. And if you struggle with eloquence, with what we call public speaking, you may get very nervous when you have to sell yourself, sell your ideas, or express your feelings. And today I'm here to talk a little bit about tips and tricks that can help you, but also I'll be telling you about this great organization called Toastmasters International, what to expect if you want to join Toastmasters or if you want to visit a club, and just sharing my own journey with Toastmasters and how it helped me become a better public speaker. With no further ado, let's get right into it. So I think first things first, I wanted to talk about how just important public speaking is. I mean, even in this new age of AI, where AI can do so many things for us, one thing it cannot do is to stand in front of potential investors to your business and sell your business and pitch your business. It will not do that. It cannot stand in an interview or sit in an interview for you and get your job, maybe in the future, but not right now. So for now, we have to be able to do it ourselves, and we have to learn the art of selling ourselves, selling our ideas, and expressing our feelings. My journey personally, I've always been a fan of public speaking. There's an episode, if you've not checked it out, please do. Episode 1, where I'm reintroducing myself to you guys. I talk about how we had a debating community in my high school and how much I loved being a part of that community and just standing in front of everyone at school and debating various topics. So it's always been a thing that came easy for me. However, I had to work on it, to sharpen my art, to just get better. And I mean, life happens to all of us. There are so many things that we're good at when we're kids and wanted to do more of. But as life happens, we started shrinking, and then we started getting nervous and scared when we do those things that we're naturally good at when we're kids. So that also happened to me with public speaking because I grew up emakhaya emzimkhulu, and I went to university in Durban at UKZN, and now you find yourself in class with people who come from really good schools, who speak English in Karinko, that's what they say in Joburg, to just articulate themselves in a prestigious and pristine manner. So you look at those people and you think, oh my god, there's people who speak English like that, who am I? And then you doubt yourself, you end up losing that confidence that you had when you were a kid. So that's what happened to me. When I was in varsity, I started losing that confidence, my, sort of sense of knowing that I can articulate myself really well, started chipping away. And I then had to work on that. And that's where Toastmasters came in. However, also I am on radio, so that also just helps me a great deal. But I also do say that radio is not public speaking, because when you are on radio, you are in the studio alone, or probably with just your producer and the guest maybe. But most of the time, it's a very small audience of people that are looking at you as you are talking. You're just talking in a studio that's soundproof, but there's thousands and millions of people that get to hear your voice. So it's a little bit different. However, we are not talking about radio today. We're talking about Toastmasters. So personally, my journey with Toastmasters started when I was in UKZN, yes, as I've already said. I was speaking to a friend at the time and I learned about this organization called Toastmasters that apparently helps with public speaking. And this person that I was speaking to had been in a Toastmasters meeting before. I think Toastmasters was doing some sort of outreach, and she got to be a part of that outreach program that Toastmasters was doing. And I always want to tell the story because how Toastmasters was presented to me initially is very key to then how I found Toastmasters to be when I eventually joined. So she said to me, Toastmasters is an organization that helps you limit the number of ums and ums and like when you are speaking. So what I eventually learned that it's titled or called filler words. So this person said to me, Toastmasters is an organization that helps you limit the number of filler words you use when you talk. Quite a limiting idea. It's a very limiting way to present Toastmasters. Anyway, I was interested still. I was like, okay, I'd love to have an organization that helps me limit the number of ums and ums I say when I talk. And I didn't, join right away. I didn't look for Toastmasters right away at that time. But I do remember that while I was still living in KZN in Durban, I did visit one Toastmasters club. And when I visited the club, I was mind blown. I was mind blown just by how amazing the organization is and how amazing the idea of these meetings that Toastmasters people get to have. So today I'm going to be sharing with you just what happens exactly in a Toastmasters meeting and what you can expect, what you can gain from attending a Toastmasters meeting. But let me also just give you these facts that I just want to put out right from the start. Reasons why you need to join Toastmasters, or it's fine for you to join Toastmasters. If you want to join Toastmasters, I encourage you. So let me put it like that. Reasons I encourage you to join Toastmasters. So I was a member for 3 years and I've taken a break because, I'm currently doing the wife thing, the mom thing, but yeah, my life is quite busy at the moment. So I am currently not a member, but I will join as soon as I can in the next couple of years once, I've settled into my roles as a mother and as a wife. But the reasons why I love Toastmasters, first of all, it's a non-profit organization. So by you joining the organization, no one is getting rich, no one gains except for you. So I love that so much because I think there are a lot of platforms and companies and businesses and organizations that capitalize on our insecurities. So say you have this insecurity of being very nervous to speak in front of people, then someone is going to capitalize on that and they start a business, which is great. I mean, it's great that they do those kinds of businesses, but that is the difference with Toastmasters, that no one is getting richer by you paying your membership fee. And that membership fee is very, I wouldn't say it's very small, but compared to the value you get from the organization, it's not a big deal at all. And again, because it's a non-profit organization, you are not paying for someone to make a profit. Secondly, it is the largest public speaking organization in the world. So if you're in South Africa and you join Toastmasters, you move to Russia or Japan, Thailand, you will find Toastmasters and you will be able to transfer your membership to that country. It is as easy as that. It is the largest public speaking organization in the world and the oldest because it started in 1924. In 2024, it was celebrating 100 years. And it started as a boys' club, if I may put it like that. Only men were allowed to join, which is all the more reasons for women in 2026 to join the organization. Women who feel the need to sharpen and get better at public speaking. I highly recommend that you join Toastmasters because, it was started as a men's club because it was as an organization, it's positioned as an organization that helps you with public speaking and leadership skills. So imagine that men were getting an advantage of being better public speakers, better leaders. So as women as well, now in 2026, let's go all in. Number 3, you learn by doing. So at Toastmasters, no one is going to sit in front of you and teach you. Well, there will be moments like that, but majority of the time you learn by doing. So you are there and you are getting better as a speaker by speaking. And I know that it may sound a bit counterintuitive for someone who's very nervous. They're like, if I go and then they expect me to talk, no. They phase you into it. There's guidance, there's help, there's support. I'll get into that just now. You learn by doing. That's the third point that I wanted to put across as one of the reasons why I encourage everyone to join Toastmasters. Number 4, the community is very supportive. One of the things I learned about Toastmasters from very early on, someone said to me, when we are sitting here and we are looking at you presenting, we're looking at you delivering your speech, we want you to do well. It's in us to want you to do well. Each and every person who's sitting and looking at you, they want you to do well. You know why they want you to do well? Because they've been in your position. They've been that person who was nervous to present a speech. They've been that person who was scared to talk in front of people. They've been in your position. And so they want you to do well. And because they are a supportive community. Another thing that is a big indicative, that is largely indicative of the fact that they want you to do well. This is something else that I learned. Whenever someone presents at Toastmasters, the minute they finish, we go like this. We are clapping hands. Because you know why? We know just how much bravery it took for the person to stand in front of us and talk to us. So by giving them a big round of applause, we want them to feel that sense of relief that they are done, and that sense of, oh wow, these people were actually listening to me. These people actually really are rooting for me. So that's just one of the reasons I encourage you to join Toastmasters. You can tell I'm quite passionate about this subject. Anyway, moving swiftly right along. So now on to what happens when you go to a Toastmasters meeting. Those meetings are run cult-like. I'm joking, not in a bad way, but they are there's precision, there is structure, there is order. So meetings are planned ahead of time. You will get a meeting plan. So now if you are a member, you will get the meeting plan. But if you are visiting, you will walk in and there will probably be someone at the door to welcome you, and they will welcome you warmly to the club, and they will register you. They will take your name down and you will sit. There's 3 very important segments in the meeting. Meetings run differently from club to club, obviously, but there's 3 things that are very standard across clubs. So there's going to be prepared speeches. So these are people that knew ahead of time that they were going to be delivering a speech at this meeting, and they prepared a speech. They are all at different levels. Some of them, they are delivering their first speech. Some of them, they are delivering their 10th speech. Every person who's on that agenda is at a different level of speaking, and they will be on the agenda. Probably 3 to 4 speakers prepared speeches in one meeting. So that is segment number 1. Segment number 2, there's let me start with this one. Segment number 2, there is evaluations. So the people that prepared their speeches, they've also been assigned evaluators. So someone who's sitting and looking at this person presenting their speech, and they will note notes, or they will note feedback to give to this person. This feedback is not harsh at all. It's supportive, it is kind, it is warm, it is constructive. It's not criticism, it's feedback. That's what it is. So these people that have been assigned to all the 3 speakers or 4 speakers, however many they may be, then they will give their feedback to the speakers. And then segment number 3. Segment number 3 is called table topics. And I think this is the part that's interesting to a person who wishes to visit a club. Table topics is impromptu speech, so unprepared speech. And anyone who's part of the meeting can be given a table topic. So even if you're visiting, you may be called to give a speech. It's not a long speech. You're going to be asked to talk for 30 seconds to 2 minutes max. That's it. That's what table topics is. But it will just be random conversations, random conversation notes. I remember when I visited Toastmasters the first time, I was asked to speak about Movember. You know, the campaign that men don't shave their mustache. Yeah, they don't shave their beards, or like their hair, the hair on their face. I don't know. That campaign, I was asked to speak about that, and I didn't know quite a lot about it, so I probably spoke for like 20 seconds. But you know, that's the kind of topics that you get to be given, and no, there is no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure. If you really feel that your fear of speaking in front of people is absolutely crippling, I don't think they will force you to speak, but it is a great opportunity for you to integrate yourself into the system, to take the topic that you're given, say a few words, whatever it is. It's an unprepared speech. And I mean, this is an epitome of our lives every day. There's going to be a person who's going to strike a conversation with you about something. And that is unprepared speech. We don't go around our day-to-day lives with prepared speeches. We don't. We are constantly doing unprepared speeches. So that's why then table topics are so important, and they're so fun. And if you do get a table topic and you're visiting a Toastmasters meeting, please do not miss out on the opportunity to just, put yourself out there and get yourself started on the journey. So that is essentially the standard items on the meeting agenda at a Toastmasters club. However, there are a variety of things that different clubs do in accordance with their cultures, because each club has a different culture and a different community. Because I know that there's clubs that are specifically for entrepreneurs. I know that there's clubs that are more sort of sports centered, or clubs that are more business centered, clubs that are more student centered, and there's clubs that are more community and family oriented clubs. So there's a variety of types of clubs. Depending on the club that you go to, there may be other things that they do on their agenda that just fit the narrative that they are trying to push as a club, or the culture that they are trying to build as a club. But essentially, those are the standard items. And now my journey with Toastmasters, and this is something that I always like to highlight, that when you join and you pay that membership fee, you then get this platform that you log into, and then it asks you questions. You answer. Based on the answers that you've given, then it gives you a tailor-made sort of, it's called a pathway, but it's a course that you are going to undergo to become the speaker you so desire to be, to achieve the goals that you set out to achieve in joining Toastmasters. So, for example, if you're a person who wants to become a better at presentations, you're like, okay, I'm not afraid to speak in front of people, but I just want to become better at presenting, because I do a lot of presentations at work or in my business, etc. So I want to be better at that. Then it will just tailor make this pathway or this course for you. It will give you the number of speeches that you need to do, what are the objectives of each speech, what do you want to do, and what do you need to achieve in each and every speech. I remember that my pathway was called dynamic leadership. And I remember one of the things that I had to do as part of my course was to negotiate. It was to just learn the art of negotiating, and I had to undergo that project and complete it and see it to fruition to be able to get to the end of the course. And one of the things that I needed to do was to start a podcast. And yeah, I had already started my podcast at the time when they said start a podcast, and then I then just submitted the work that I had already been doing as a podcaster to achieve that goal. But the point is, when you join and when you pay that membership fee, you will then get a certain course and certain goals to achieve along the way for you to become the speaker that you want to be, for you to become the leader that you want to be. So essentially, that is about Toastmasters. I think if Toastmasters wasn't a non-profit organization, you guys would probably think that this video is sponsored. It absolutely is not, but I'm just highly appreciative of the value that I got from Toastmasters, in as much as I didn't go into the organization with crippling anxiety of public speaking or speaking in front of people. I wasn't scared at all, but I just wanted to become better. I just wanted to learn things to sort of enhance my delivery and enhance my art in eloquence. And I think that concludes my spirited speech today as to why you should join Toastmasters and become the speaker that you so desire to be. But I mean, I think we all know that truly we can't be as great as we wish to be if we are scared of speaking to people. We need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to be confident in the manner in which we present our ideas, because you may have some of the most brilliant thoughts, but if you're not able to present your thoughts as confidently and as eloquently as you need to, then I'm sorry, but that's just the rules of the game. If you can't do that, then someone else will present the same thoughts and ideas, and they will get so much more credit, and you beat yourself that why didn't I get that credit? But it's because you didn't articulate your ideas as eloquently and as confidently as the other person. So that's what happens. Anyway, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me just wrap it up there. Today was a wonderful episode. 2 more episodes to go before we wrap up our series. It's been a wonderful time just going through this series with you. Check you out on the next one.